So, I'm I keep being shown examples of self within others with stipulations. These stipulations are to never speak of the secrets, to burn the secrets, leave the secrets behind, not speak of them. Yet I come on YouTube something that is real in my history, and it's true. It's recording me. I get a look at the recordings that I've made to see my progress, but I don't. I have full reason to believe that I have good reason to believe I have good reason to believe that everybody is part of a transcendent field that seems as if it's from the future, looking back on my presence here. But my world's concurrent, and people respond to me concurrently. But there's a real sensation that you're integral in the Eric Orwoll brought up the divine logos, where the divine logos is taking us, me, and following it. I can't tell any longer whether or not to be fearless or whether or not fear is a threat. Whether or not the threats that the divine logo seems to lay in front of me are threats that I need to pay attention to. I don't know to what extent I'm being deceived or I'm being drug along. I don't know what to doubt. When I move forward, when I jump in the game, when I accept what's happening, the world keeps moving forward. It may not be ideal, but it moves forward. When I seem to reject a game, there seems to be a a very awakened animalism that that makes me feel cut off, alone, like the universe is unsympathetic to me. I'm afraid of how much I don't know about what comes from inside and what it is I'm imitating. I feel like I've led a life of imitation, always looking outward instead of pulling from the inside. But now, even when I feel that I'm pulling from the inside, my work seems to imitate, look like somebody else's. I don't know my grand importance if my life is full of imitation. Because I don't know what it is that's new that I'm doing, other than nobody else is moving in my space-time other than me. I don't know whether or not following the divine logos is also ignoring. If I follow the divine logos, the field of logos, it seems to undermine the inherent meanings that I found in sounds and clicks and symbols. If I only follow what is coherent, then I'm no longer left to be able to extrapolate from an environment that has bits and clips and meaning assigned. Like my heater goes on. My heater goes on can be benign. I might not read any meaning into it. It may be part of a day-to-day process, but it is part of the whole field of energy. It is going on. But sometimes it means something to me. Sometimes it means I will burn, and sometimes that burning feels metaphorical, and sometimes that burning means really, and even a metaphorical burn, an internal conscious burning, seems as if it's theological. Seems like it's a matter of course. Bibles rewriting themselves, different examples of self-Bibles, moving along, feeling like I'm falling behind pace of what I should be doing, trying to get caught up in whether or not it's a determined universe, whether or not there's a camera in every molecule in my body. All I know is I am transparent to the field, but the field is not transparent to me. Another Eric Orwoll video talking about the fifth chakra, removing the limitations of the fifth chakra, the throat chakra. I took that having to be relative to my habit of smoking, always wanting a metaphor of breath, a metaphor of the dragon. Trying to remove that from my system now. I don't know if media is complimenting me I don't honestly know what's left of free will if I listen to the divine logos, because sometimes to fight it, to ignore it, to take an alternative route, yields some new knowledge, new fruit, new thing that becomes a part of something positive. And so if I'm in a deterministic field, then I'm supposed to move against the divine logos at some point. And the divine logos knows this. The mass energy knows this. So it's a contradiction. And I don't know whether or not to move against it is to move with Satan, whether or not I'm being dropped hard, I'm being risen up to be let down, or not. I don't know. I watch Doctor Who, and I feel like I'm Doctor Who sometimes, going through these wormholes, and then watching them fall away, and then watching him get older through time, and then lessons from his youth. But I'm only getting older. So it feels like God has brought what I would call my locus of familial relations, family relations, a fiance, yet an ex-fiance, and then a fiance, and then an ex-fiance. So following the grand logos to look at what's present in my field, I have a fiance. How to love the fiance. Sometimes it's authentic, and other times it's absolutely absent. I'm threatened by the field. I'm threatened by the field to let her go, to abort her or adulterate what it is that my life is built to, instead of looking at her in my life as a blessing. Sometimes I've made a lot of mistakes with a lot of relationships in the past, and this one feels divinely inspired. And yet, walking away from it also feels necessary. But I'm threatened by the field to do so. How can the divine logos threaten me? I mean, trust me, I have a fear of God, a respect for the logos, a respect for what's present, a respect for communication from inanimate objects to living organisms. to the woman in the other room, to my family, the people that communicate to me. Like I said, I know I'm transparent to everybody. It feels as if if I think poorly, I'm immediately punished with perverse thoughts. Like my thoughts are not my own. There's nothing that's my own. Like Anton mentioned, the idea of the individual is dead. The ego is a shell. The way I move against the divine logos is by re-artificializing a internality of my thoughts and denying what is being told to me, denying guidance. For the sake of running a different colored path. That's the thing, is if occasionally I shut down the media, or I ignore the signs, and I ignore put on earplugs, blind myself, so to speak, to what it is I'm seeing, to some extent. And I move contra, or what I believe to be contra, to what the media is telling me. And then a fruit comes of that that seems, in retrospect, to be as divine as if I was to maintain order with the field. It's not like it's a problem I'm solving. It's something more or less like an intuition of what it is I want to do. Like I'm hungry to move contra the signs, move contra what it is I'm hearing. Because I have an inkling, a notion, something else, a subtext, some subroutine that's telling me to do that. And so if I multiply that contra, if I put up an artificial egg, an artificial ego around me that I can only ricochet within, self-justify, is that not also a part of the divine plan, the God plan, or is that me attempting to die in sin? Because even the theocratic notion of you do not want to die in sin. You want to be a part in the present. I want to marry my universe. I want to be one with the universe. But something that's so convoluting is that everything sees me like I am but a machine, a radio, and everybody can hear the radio, and I can hear my own radio, but I just can't hear anyone else's radio. It's weird to say, but anytime I'm listening to somebody else, it's as if their point of their presence is about me, instead of having me just be a voyeur on them. So in the past I was a voyeur, thinking that I'm just watching them like a voyeur. But then I realized, no. See, even to discuss this, even to go with Eric, make a video, talk about it, in a way, I'm not supposed to share another divine thing says, zip it. Zip it. Just put a lid on it. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not everything reads me. Maybe it only reads what it is I say, not what it is I think. And yet maybe other people only realize they don't know what I'm thinking, they don't know what I'm saying, they don't know who I am, they don't have a clue about my existence at all. All I know is Turing, the imitation game. He discloses the secrets. He knows this is a grand machine. The irony of the Turing test, you know, realizing that you guys are part of a grand machine. That I can only imagine is infinitely far-reaching. And is beyond my temporal scope. All the limitations. I'm so limited in my thinking. So anyway, so Eric mentions change that chakra, be able to move up into the 6th, 7th chakra. Where I know I've moved into the 7th chakra at least a few times, but these are phases. It's a phasing before I'm re-materialized, I'm re-grounded, either through habituation, circumstance, imitation, or just sleep or letting go. I take it all very seriously, and yet the most divine times that I've had have been, you know, when I'm laughing, singing, or arting. There's something not cruel about what it is I've done. Okay, so that's the other thing is, before all of this, I led and put forth this, you know, this, I built up to an idealism when I was in love, and then when love was gone, when I let it go, then I started to echo more sardonic art forms, that I was still arting in heaven, these nasty art forms. And I've learned to hence put them away, put them behind me. Look straight in the eye. Look life straight in the eye. I guess I don't know what to take as divine, what threats to take as real, what it means to do what I want, if the I in I, meaning the me, the my, as a locus, is no longer in control. Am I part of a hive mind, a robot collective? Is it of God? Is it Luciferian? Because something something tells me that I'm going to have a cold, harsh future in front of me if I am influx, change, or animalistic. And when I am animalistic, then I'm wolf-like. It's weird. Eat meat sparingly. I mean, maybe get back to me directly on all of this, Eric, if you would. You know, bit by bit, point by point. Otherwise, I'll just hear you as a recording and not know what to make of it. I feel like there's supposed to be something amazing that I'm supposed to be doing, and either I move all in with what's given, with what's pointed to, with what's suggested, with the fruits that it comes with, and with the lack of fruits that time has taken from me, that I have taken from my life based on my historic choices. See, sometimes, okay, media tells me, shows me, echoes to me what's wrong in the world. You know, bloodshed, war, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Africa, Ebola, money crisis, doomsday sensations, and somehow when I go out my front door, there's no earthquakes. Maybe I see an accident. I haven't seen a dead body since I lived in a nursing home. I mean, maybe I need to take a trip to a hospital locally just to see the carnage. But what I do see is maybe gas prices being a little higher or lower than they were the day before. Maybe the weather changing. But I don't see in my location this horror, and that shows probably my provincialism, my lack of travel, my lack of presencing myself around such tragedy. I have plenty of self-induced tragedy, but that's not what I'm getting at. That's I don't. The thing that's peculiar is, okay, we're all energy. You guys are concurrent to me. The people I hug are made out of flesh and blood. I've seen them bleed. They're organisms like me. I still feel like I'm a transparent machine in it all. I feel like I can be unplugged from it all. I can be tortured by it all. I don't know whether or not I I don't know whether or not to be fearless, as God might teach, while fearing God. What is it? Am I fearless through and through, or do I fall to my knees? Do I metaphorically burn? Do I burn inside when all is wrong? Anyway, I really appreciate Logic Rolls the Dice, Eric Orwoll, recently. It's not that I'm not getting it from everybody. I'm getting it from everybody in some capacity or some irony. My understanding is definitely bloomed or unfolded. The ego's fallen away, but then I still feel like I have to be a seeker. I have to find the right avenue for ascension, and it's not found through strict meditation. I'm not taken off the planet in some transit via meditation alone. It's as if I have to go somewhere, do something, unlock doors with specific keys, agree to things here, disagree to things there. As long as there appears to be choice, even seemingly benign choice, like whether or not to move from Safari to Chrome. As soon as I agreed to Chrome, it's like my universe changed, something shifted. No longer am I supposed to use Safari to hunt, to be on Safari, to animal gaze. I'm supposed to be locked in. I'm open and opening more and more to people that I felt different from. The walls of difference crumble. Sometimes defensively, I feel like I got to put them up again. But by putting them up, then I'm missing the infinite flux. I slow myself down. Sometimes it feels like pain is my punishment. Sometimes my feet are free. I picked up higher paces, faster paces. I'm wearing shoes now. I can run in sprint mode sometimes, and in other times I'm slow, debilitated, crippled, disabled, locked. And spiritually speaking, maybe when I'm locked, I'm at a lower vibrational set, lower chakra, and when I'm able to run, when I have ability, it's because I'm at a higher frequency. Anyway, I don't know what this video will do. I want to love what I'm given, but something something also feels as if it is a machinery happening behind the scenes, and that I'm caught. Maybe my whole life has been caught in a ship. Maybe that's my desire to get off the planet or see something from a grander perspective from my eyes. I mean, I've seen some incredible things, super fantastical things to prove God is real throughout all of this. Anton asks, can a robot give a hug? And I wonder, am I the robot that thinks I'm giving a hug? And then at times I think, no, I'm a human, and everybody I'm hugging is the robot. And it feels really good when I feel like, no, I'm a human and they're a human, instead of I'm a robot and they're a robot. All I know is it seems as if somehow everything is real, really fake, yet it's real. Got tremendous burn notices, fire creeping up around me at different times, fire moving through fire processes to not fear it as much. Looking at the Bible as motif, feeling because I have a fiance and then I lust after somebody else that I, like the Bible said, need to pluck my right eye out and cast it aside lest my whole body burns. And a good friend came over and he said, no, it's a metaphor. Just stop being lustful with that eye. Stop being that way. Don't actually pluck your eyeball out. I went through a huge thing where, because I have a mark on my hand, that I felt like, oh, I'm a beast. I am the beast. It's the sign of the beast. I have the sign of the beast. I'm the Antichrist, fighting Christ. And then through all of this, through other media, assuring me of that. The media assures me, and it's accented by my heater going on, which is a metaphor of me burning. Makes me feel as if this idea of, an eternal soul can burn. But what's so funny is that even Eric Orwell's signature symbol is the same symbol that came through my condo in 2007. It is one of the miraculous things that I saw, and it's echoed through his symbol. And the sincerity of his words is how they impact me, have me wanting to respond. And so I am responding based on his asking. But how to be real and how to be true. For the record, I gotta show the painting to myself in the future. it's my self-portrait today, and it's my self-portrait in 1992 and 2014. So, okay. Sometimes I feel like there's a grand queen to feed. Sometimes I think, oh, that's just supposed to be my fiance. See, what am I to do? What am I to do when I recognize something so incredibly vacuous about my attempts to maintain a loving flame in my heart towards somebody who's in my life, when my communicability with another special someone is so rich. I went to pray up in a canyon, and somebody said, hey, they helped me out. They helped me out of a canyon. And it was as if they were some sort of earth angel showing up. And I said, I feel like I need a divorce from what it is I've done. An annulment. And they say, oh, well, I got a divorce. And even though it's really hard, you know, you can do it, and it's great. Now I have a wife and family. You know, couldn't be happier. I've always wanted kids, but I never stuck it out long enough, or I never did something right enough to make it happen. I shouldn't say I always wanted kids, but for the last 15 years I wanted kids. And granted, I'm not self-sufficient. I live from a state of poverty. But something I heard on TV was, you know, wishing you had kids does not make it so. And I realize I do not have kids. There's plenty of reason to not want to have kids, especially if I think I'm just living in a voxel, pixelated universe. And that this child, although soulful, will be mine. A spirit child. That all parents are actually godparents. That's news. I want to be happy in my presence. I want to use the blessings that I have. And poverty, in a way, is a type of a myth of not being able to see the world anew. Anyway, I'm just so impressed that I'm more at the center of the universe than I knew. I'm just not certain what to do with it. I had a dream last night that just meditating on an idea was working that idea, was solving that idea. And then another thing says it's all outside of my control anyway. So, Eric, tell me, what kind of control do I have? Is it found in prayer? Is it found in meditation? Is it found in works? Is it found in action? I picked up a homeless guy today to try to feed him. But he kind of justified that his being on the street was purposeful. And it's been a long time. And to myself, I don't want myself to be disparaged looking at my bird-like haircut. I don't want to be disparaged looking at myself in the past, even though it seems as if the idea of meandering in the past is, at least through some Christian texts, a forbidden, it's an error, it's a sin. Only look forward. Drop the axe right behind you. The past is gone, the past is dead. And then other times I'm thinking, no, can't my sacred memories be indulged? And I guess if they hamper me in the present, then they shouldn't be indulged. Memories come to mind. Anyway, I guess I don't know what to do, having lived such a perverse life, having such a perverse history woven through my being. Meaning, it's infinite. My whole life, front to back, birth till death. The inkling of killing myself, very, 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 very rare, very, very fleeting thoughts. Even with all of this in mind, I still want a longer life, greater prosperity, greater enjoyment, greater awareness, greater experience and understanding and love. It's just so hard. I mean, as long as there's concurrent meat bags called other humans that are angels with anuses floating around, then I feel good. But if it's all just some cage, if I'm on a ship that can't fly anywhere or with anybody, I don't know. There's just so many great metaphors. All I know is things are telling me to stick it out, but somehow I'm not all in. It's like lifting my left foot up, putting weight on my right foot, and saying I'm all in because I've got all of my weight on my right foot, just to set the other foot down outside of being all in, and stepping back, and then lifting the right foot and being on the left foot and saying I must be all out. Everything that's on my right foot is wrong. It must go, and I must rebuild. things that I've planned have developed momentum that have led to what it is I have, and I guess I need to embrace what it is I have. But when I reject what it is I have, then the next thing is what it is I have. And the fear of God is that by rejecting, continuance of rejecting blessings, so to speak, whether I communicate well with these blessings or not, is sinful. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Not only do I have a mark of a beast, but my vacuum breaks down, leaving things a little more horrid. And yet my spirit raises, and then I'm indifferent. I find the mess to be quaint. I move through my space differently. I'm not as horrified by the dirt I cannot remove. I know there's dirt and dust on everything, so everything's a matter of perspective in that respect. But there's just certain spaces that are cleaner than other spaces. They're nicer to be in, and there's labor to be done to make those spaces cleaner. Anyway, on kind of a whole leap, I don't know how to cure the world's woes. Sometimes I want to make a call for war, or a call for justice against an economic system, but other times I feel like it's all just part of the program, and there's no I'm a subtext to it all. I'm not a player in it. So how do I feel like I become a player in it? I can only seek and move spot by spot, but I don't know how to be a transcendent player. Sometimes I wish I could look at how I used to think about things. Whatever knots or contrivances or beliefs that I had about about the way things were, things have certainly been corrected, and quite quickly. I felt seduced externally into becoming in love internally, like I was shot in the heart by a Cupid, being the mass machine, being my involvement in the mass machine. It took all of 5 days from that moment to get engaged, and then it took another 2 days to get disengaged. I don't know, it's like all the songs are appropriate. Like, like, like there's not a thought I can have that doesn't reveal some new show or new music, some self-responsive, self-reflective, it makes me wonder what my point is. And then I think, well, my CV has been art throughout my life, so why should I abandon art? It's my CV. I just don't know if, I don't know. Not to repeat. concerns. How to live graciously. How to be my word, but how to properly lie. Can one ever lie? Should one ever lie? Or do we just lie and then recognize we lie? I hope I'm pardoned by all, but I guess it ultimately comes down to I am, in the face of fear, the face of contradiction, the face moving against what may be good and blessed, still defines me. But we only have so many days on the planet, so many days in this mortal coil. I just wish the momentum in my life had yielded greater fruits than this barren tree has. But I should be happy with what I've done and who I've influenced and how I've lived life as well. Beatles were right, you know. There's nothing that I can do that can't be done. That hasn't been done. It's like I'm obsolete already. So Eric, am I obsolete? Anton, is this one-time event called my life? Is it with purpose, with all of its error? Does my soul really have choice in this deterministic universe? Now that my ears are open and my eyes are aware, all things are different. I don't want to break an hour. There's something like a twin flame to attend to. For the time being, at least. Thanks.